but the horror community embracing it really meant a lot to me because I'm a horror girly, you know. I was raised in the blood of Fangoria, you know, watching The Shining, you know, and Carrie and these, you know, Jason and Freddie and all the things we love. So for that to happen felt really good because I when I started writing Jawbreaker, I was trying to write a horror film. And then when it, through the drafts and through the snarkiness of the dialogue, it sort of became more of a dark comedy. But the DNA, if you look, is definitely horror. And I think that's part of why it's a cult movie, because the darkness is so palpable in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think horror people see that, get it, check, you know. Yeah, so that's been nice.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
and best friends Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips
to help you stay alive. Oh my goodness, Julia, I'm so excited. We have another fine episode of Horror Movie Survival Guide, and we have a guest.
Tell him who's here.
Oh my God, Julia, one of my favorite people on the planet, quite honestly. I fell in love with him before I knew him, and then I met him, and I was like, oh my God, even better in person. Darren Stein, he's a director, screenwriter, film producer who grew up in the lovely, illustrious San Fernando Valley, where I happen to also reside. After graduating from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, Darren co-wrote and directed his first feature film, Sparkler. And Darren then went on to write and direct the dark teen comedy. One of my favorites I like to leave on for the cats when I'm not away is Jawbreaker, which has become a cult classic.
And which I own. It's back here on the wall of VHS. It is there. He has also written the final installment for V.C. Andrews' Flowers in the Attic movie series, Seeds of Yesterday for Lifetime, which we're going to talk about because V.C. Andrews, fuck yeah. And then produced a cult horror film all about evil, which we'll also talk about because Peaches Christ, fuck yeah. And directed the comedy feature GBF, Gay Best Friend.
Oh my God, I love GBF. It's so cute. Okay. Also another one I like to leave on for the cats because the colors are so good in Darren's movies. Anyway, Darren has been a producer and guest judge on all 7 seasons of the Emmy-nominated competition series, the BOULET Brothers Dragula. My dream guest hosting visit gig. I love this show so much. I love you, Darren. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide.
Thank you for having me. What a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, you're well-deserved and such a star. Like, how cool. The cool points abound. Just cult movie, done, check. Made something that people are obsessed with, one of the best casts on the planet. Fun.
That people have tattoos of,
Oh my God, just icon. And then also hanging out with all the coolest people that we love in horror and just I don't know, you're just a light. Yes.
Thank you. Well, you two are lights as well. I've loved meeting you. I think you're both so passionate about what you do and incredible sort of beacons of light in that community. And you have a really cool podcast with a really cool name.
Oh, yay. Hand to heart. So good. So
I'm already crying. Am I already crying right now? Sorry.
So let's Darren, let's start with the beginning. Where did your love of film and horror begin? We can, if they're separate, if they're together.
Mm-hmm. I was a kid in Encino. I had the calendar section. My dad's parents started a film lab in the 60s called Crest National, a small boutique family-run film lab. So he would bring home 16mm prints of movies to watch. One of the earliest films was Snow White, which was just a game changer.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And then one of my earliest memories of the theater was Popeye, weirdly. I know that's
seminal film. No, that film, Altman. Yeah. It's
Robert Altman. And I just loved film. I just loved poring over the counter section and looking at these huge ads and being able to go to Hollywood or Westwood to see a film on a movie palace. Living in LA, you don't realize that it's such a gift to be able to do that. That we have all these places to watch films. But I think having a father and grandparents in the business is weird, but in the post-production business at a film lab that did indie kind of movies made it feel more tangible to me, I think, to be a filmmaker. Horror specifically, I think it's something you're born with. You know, you have this weird thing that draws you to darkness.
Are you
So
strange and unusual? I too am strange and
I
unusual. Understood.
clearly am still wearing black Cure t-shirts. You know, I have not
Nice.
changed. And I got a Fangoria. I think it was the Manitou. I blame the Manitou. My parents dropped us off at a double feature of the Manitou and Close Encounters, and I don't think they realized the
Ooh.
Manitou was really, really fucked up.
Yes.
And I was way too young. I was like 7 or 8, and my friend ran screaming for the exits. And I sat there, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this because I can't look away. You know.
Wow.
It is that make or break moment. I think a lot of people in their life, they have that moment and it's either run away or
Mhm.
I'm in, right? And I think that it's such like a small choice. Can I ask you a really random question? If you
Mhm.
grew up in the Valley watching movies a lot, did
Mhm.
you ever run into Bret Easton Ellis?
I didn't, but I did go to movies at the Galleria
Okay.
and Town and Country. Town and Country was a strip mall where actually Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson would go watch movies. Because they lived in Encino, you know,
Yeah.
on Havenhurst, and they would do double features. I think the '80s were big for double features, right? And then Tito Jackson coached a little league team at Encino Little League, where I went to school. To baseball, and Michael would sit in the bleachers and watch the little boys playing baseball, as you do.
Mhm.
Twisted. Also, Gelson's Market. Michael would go to Gelson's Market in like disguise to shop, and one of his
Oh yeah.
apparently one of his disguises was a female nurse.
Oh, I believe it. He had like the craziest costumes, like so camp, like just like wow, wow. He's like, yeah, I could just go in a disguise. Like he just
Mhm.
anyway.
But he doesn't realize that the disguise makes him stick out even more than he already would in the first place because now you're like, wait, what is wrong
Yes
with
and no, but it just looks weirder. Just like some weird. You're like, you don't know who it is, but it's something weird. But yeah, you're
Which
absolutely
is
still
great,
gonna
which we
stare.
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had the Z Channel, which was a cable
Yes.
station before there was video. This is before Betamax, VHS. There was
the documentary about it right there.
good. Yeah. I think it's Zoe Cassavetes who made that documentary. And so my parent, it was like having a film festival in your house, and mom and dad weren't home. So Evan and my brother and I were left in front of the TV, and a lot of it was horror, you know? So I was exposed to, I remember one of the films I played on the Z Channel as a kid was Terror in the Isles.
Yeah. I have that
Which-
one too, which is a
yeah.
random one, right? It's just kind
Mhm.
of like a compilation of
Mhm.
other films, but Radish from Final Exam is in it, which is why I love it. Rachel Les Rice.
Yeah. But I remember seeing clips of like Carrie and Jaws and The Birds and, you know, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, all these films that I would discover through Terror in the Isles. Had a Fangoria subscription since I was very little. I remember the day I was at the farmer's market. My mom would take us to the farmer's market and over the hill into the city.
Yep.
Because she grew up in Hancock Park, and she loved this like not toffee, but this like brittle, this like, John's candy, this yummy sweet. She still buys it anyway.
Yeah, I feel like it's still there. Yes.
Yeah, it's still there. It's
Mhm.
but they had Fangoria on the newsstand, and it's, as you guys know, it's a bright, vivid, graphic cover with that logo, with the severed heads and the gore, and I just was drawn to it. I was like, I want that. That's what I want.
Mhm.
You know, so I think horror people have a gene, I think, or something that makes us intrigued by that.
And then how did that carry on through school? So were you digesting film all through high school and college?
I was making movies on my cul-de-sac. I actually made a documentary. Yeah. It's called Put the Camera on Me, which you can rent for $1 on Amazon Prime.
Oh my God, incredible.
Yeah, it was featured on This American Life. I was interviewed by Ira Glass, which is really wild.
Ooh.
And,
how was that? Oh my gosh, that's like another like check mark. I don't know, one of those things. It's like Terry Gross or Ira Glass. Like I'd be excited either way. Like that's incredible.
I used to listen to This American Life and be like, where does he find these freaks? I'm like, oh my God, I am one.
You're a freak.
Yes, you've made it. Top of the world, Ma.
I was like a little bossy gay kid on the cul-de-sac, making everyone. I'd go see Poltergeist, come home and do my own production of that. I'd go see, Platoon and come home and do a zombie film. I would save my mom's ribs for like my zombie movies. You know, I had Jordan Cole on the other side of my cul-de-sac. There's a kid named Jordan Cole, who also made little movies. He grew up to be someone you might know called Zombie Joe.
Oh. What? Yes, I do know Zombie Joe. Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah, so Jordan.
I saw him last time I was at the farmer's market. That's funny. I think Julie and I ran into him. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So Jordan credits me for exposing him to horror, actually. And I credit him a little bit because I remember he had a pirate of Dawn of the Dead on VHS. He had a pirate VHS of Rocky Horror. He had some things too. But yeah, we were kind of holding down different sides of the cul-de-sac, and I would make all the kind of make the neighborhood kids be in my movies. Yeah, we were on.
They got cast. They had
there was nowhere to go. There was no bus stop. You weren't getting away.
They're taking the work.
It was like a 3-mile walk to Ventura Boulevard. We were all trapped in this cul-de-sac. Yeah, so they all were my films, and then when I got into high school, I would cast the teachers in my films. I make little movies in high school with my teachers and the kids. And
what format were you making these movies?
I made my high school movie on 16 millimeter.
Okay.
I mean, the ones on my cul-de-sac I made on video because my dad brought home a video camera at the dawn of video, and he was like, "This is Dad's toy. Do not use this." And of course,
Dad.
Yeah, Dad got bored of it. But it's called Put the Camera on Me because we'd plug the camera into the TV and we'd see ourselves on TV. And so we were like, put the camera on me because we wanted to see our faces on TV. Yeah.
I love that. That's so true.
Yeah.
So then you go from that to NYU, Tisch. So how does that jump happen? That's amazing.
That happened because I wanted to go to film school, not in LA, because I felt like I had done LA, you know? Like I grew up going to movies at the Galleria. Like I'd go see Fast Times, walk out, and I'd be like in the set, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm devastated for what that mall has become. Sorry. I'm just thinking about it. It's like...
It is devastating. I just went to see the new Jaws re-release there, and I was like, fuck this place.
But even the remodel in the movie theater in there, I'm just like, what? I feel like I'm walking into like a Botox spot. It's so weird in there now. Like even like the redesign.
The weird wind tunnel, like when you're walking from the parking garage to the, I don't know what's going on with that place.
A shell of a mall. Sorry.
I feel like culture today would have realized that was a landmark. That mall was a landmark. Yeah. If you think about Chopping Mall, Valley Girl, T2, Commando. I mean, so many Fast Times, so many films shot there, you know. Yeah, so NYU was amazing. I wanted to go to New York. New York's a whole different energy. And it was a life changer just being on the streets of New York City and just the complete rush of life that you experienced there, you know? I had a very auspicious
Was it a culture shock from like LA to go there?
It was a culture shock, yeah. I wanted to go to like an Ivy League, you know, I went to this fancy private school called Harvard, and it's called Harvard-Westlake. But when I went in, it was just called Harvard, all-boys school. And I was there from 7th grade to 12th grade. I fucking hated it because I was like the weird gay kid. And, you know, I felt like I was always keeping up academically. It was just hard. And sports were very like, you know, a thing there. But I made a short film at Harvard called A Song from Below, which is based on a Ray Bradbury short story called The Screaming Woman, about a woman who gets buried alive. So I've been making, you know, horror since I was a kid. Osgood Perkins went to Harvard.
Oh, nice.
He was a few years younger than me. Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, it's interesting growing up in LA. Yeah.
But all you weirdos that have gone through there too and made movies. So I love that.
Yeah. My first job was actually a tour guide at Universal Studios. So I saw the Psycho House. My dad wasn't Anthony Perkins, but I did. I was on a tram doing a tour, you know. Which is the coolest job.
Were you a tour guide? You said you were a tour guide?
Oh, yeah.
I went to tour guide school. I didn't make it. I'm so sad to this day.
The fact that I didn't know how I made it or why I made it. I just don't know. I think they maybe thought I was like, my dad was like around the studio or something. So my last name was Stein. I don't know why. But I remember when we were auditioning, there was like this crazy audition. And I was 17. All the tour guides
class. You get the knowledge. You get like that binder, right? I
still have the binder. I'll show it to you.
Yes. Oh yeah.
My.
And it was back when the tour started on top of the hill. So it was like a 3-hour tour. It was not like the condensed version. It was my summer before NYU. I needed a job. I remember auditioning, and there's a girl auditioning named Dory Hartley, who was the original Frankenfurter in the 8th Street Playhouse Rocky Horror shadow cast. Because I have this Rocky Horror picture show book that I've had since I was a kid. I was a Tim Curry fan club kid. I have Tim Curry. I'm starring Tim Curry tattooed right here, actually.
Oh, you're so cool.
It's in the font. Amazing. It's in the font of the
font
Roxy.
Is so gorgeous. Yes.
The Roxy Cast album, which, if you ask me or Trixie Mattel, is the album.
It's the album.
Yeah. But Dory Hartley. Yeah, you're Rocky.
We are both. Girl. I mean, big, big,
huge
into Rocky.
Huge. was like, "Are you gay? I'm gay. Hi, like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Rocky Horror." Oh my god, yes,
Yeah,
you
because
love it
like
so much.
I saw it for the first time when I was 12, which is intense, right? But like it was the one-two punch of, oh my God, a movie you can interact with, which I had never conceived of. And then also, oh my God, men in fishnets, pansexuality, what? Like just
Mhm,
so it
mhm.
really resonates with me as well. I love that it lives on. And I was very sad that it had run since 1975 continuously, but then the pandemic hit. But then I learned that there was a projectionist in Boston who ran it every Saturday night at midnight anyway to keep it so like it always would run and never would stop. So that makes my heart really
Oh,
happy.
I love that. Well, I saw Rocky, a double feature, back to double features. It was Rocky Horror and Urban Cowboy at the Man Valley West when
Wow.
I was probably like eight or nine, 7 or 8,
Okay.
whatever.
Oh my
Love both
god.
films. Oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Rocky. It was my bad. Fame and Urban Cowboy.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds like a better
Yeah, and then inside Fame, as we all know, is that great scene when they all go to see Rocky Horror, which is great because
Yes.
they have Dory Hartley's in it, the original Frankenfurter, and Sal Piero, who is the ringleader of the H Street Playhouse where Rocky played in New York. So yeah, my gateway with Rocky was super early, real freaky
Yes.
kid. And then I had Shock Treatment. I did my own production of Shock Treatment when I had the record before I even saw the movie. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I actually just had mutual friend Michael Verratti and Brandon over the other
Yes.
night, and Curtis and Amanda, and I
Yes.
was showing from Severin, and I was showing
Yes.
them my Shock Treatment production.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Put us on the invite list next time. I
Mhm.
want to see that. It sounds amazing.
There's clips
Incredible.
in my documentary which you can watch. We
Mm.
couldn't get the rights obviously to the music. We didn't try, but there is one song in the documentary that we got the rights to, which was Rumor of Love by Berlin.
Aw.
B-side.
Ooh.
Berlin B-side, really cool song.
It's
Yeah.
a great song. No, it's a beautiful one of
Yeah.
my that's a beautiful song.
It's
I
me
feel
like
like
basically writhing around on the ground, being all sexy for the camera and singing, lip syncing. It was very like gay kid in their bedroom doing their thing, as you
I'm
know,
into
guys.
it.
You guys can
as
relate.
emo
Yeah.
and beautiful
Mhm,
as ever.
mhm.
That's so
Mhm.
cute. So NYU, you're making
NYU, I'm
movies, you're
there.
making
It's a
crazy
really
things.
bizarre
Yeah.
movies, black and white, weird horror films. And then I made a thesis film called Shutter Speed, which I just showed to all of them the other night because Michael wanted to see it
Mhm.
because Curtis was kind enough to transfer it to 4K for me at Severin, which was so nice.
So what
The
did you
Wow.
film,
were you still filming on film this for your
yeah,
thesis?
yeah.
Okay.
Shock Treatment was actually shot on 35. This is so obnoxious. So obnoxious that I did this. 35 millimeter. Made a 35
That's
Yes.
made a
amazing.
35 millimeter thesis film.
You
My
did it the
You
way
grand
you
had
should.
access to it. You go to NYU, like, it's like, go swing for the fences, like, do something wild and make
Yeah.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, my grandfather had died and left each of his grandkids money. I'm like, I'm going to use this to make this big movie. So I made this huge kind of De Palma-esque
Mhm.
thriller called Shutter Speed with two D's, not T's. Get it? Shutter Speed.
Oh.
Ooh.
You say De Palma's the magic word. I want to see it
Nice
immediately. So
Shudder.
Yeah. Well, we're going to
De
get it
Palma
out.
filtered through you, which is the
Yeah.
interesting part.
Yeah. It's very me still. Yeah. It's based on an article from the Village Voice called The Svengali of the Village about this photographer who was like raping these young women that he would photograph. And then one of them took revenge and killed him.
Ooh.
So that is it. And I watch it now. I'm like, but yeah, it got me my first agent. It really did a lot for me because there was this is one of the cool things about living in LA, right? First of all, I got my DP from like AFI and he like came to New York to shoot it, which was really cool. And when I made the film in high school, I got my DP from UCLA. I put a sign up at the film school saying, looking for a DP for my high school movie.
Yeah.
And this DP named Alex Liu, who had been a second AC or something on Heathers, ended
Oh.
up DPing my high school film. But anyway, what were we were talking about?
You did your thesis film and then
Oh yeah, the
we're moving.
thesis. Oh yeah,
And then
there
you
was
got the kid from UCLA. Yeah.
okay. But there was an assistant. Okay, there's a woman who worked out with my mother at Voight, this like aerobic studio in West Hollywood. The woman was a publicist in the music business for Geffen or something. She had an assistant who wanted to get into film publicity. He heard I was a filmmaker going to NYU. He saw my short, thought it was great, invited all these assistants to see the screening of it.
Oh.
And it was hustle. It was pure hustle.
Yeah.
That's brilliant though.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got an agent when I was I think I was still a junior at NYU. I was really precocious. And my 20s, I made 2 features in my 20s.
That's
It's
massive.
incredible. So
Darren, that's
let's
massive.
I want to hear all about it. Give us your.
Okay, so I wrote Sparkler right out of film school. I was dating this guy from Victorville, the small town on the way to Vegas,
Oh,
and we saw it. Yeah, and he was
Where
touring me.
Julia's from. So
Oh, you're
Julia's
from
from Vegas.
Amazing. His parents were Scottish, and I was like, "Oh, the high desert. What is this place?" So he like gave me one weekend. He come to LA. One weekend I go to Victorville, and he was still living at home, loading boxes on the trucks that rode away, working the night shift,
Hot.
and showing me around town. And it was like the place where there's like showgirls and like cowboys, and it was just like this. Victorville was kind of known for being on the way to Vegas. It was like this netherworld. And we met this woman who was in head-to-toe sequins at this bar, and she saw me and Tommy and his friend looking at her, and she's like, "Hey, but one of you handsome young men care to dance with a lady? It's my first night out after 15 years of marriage, but I still got the moves."
Oh.
And she was in head-to-toe sequins, and we called her the Sparkler because we were making fun of her, but also endearing. Long story short, I couldn't get this woman out of my head. We all danced with her, and I was like, "Who was this woman who asked us to dance in the desert, having just gotten out of this long marriage?" And that was the genesis of Sparkler. So Sparkler's not genre, not horror. It's indie 90s coming of age character piece that turned out to have some 90s actors in it, like Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jamie Kennedy and Veronica fucking Cartwright.
Yeah.
Grace fucking Zabriskie, you know.
She can freak out pretty much.
How did you get this cast? Was this just because, like, how did you assemble these people for this?
The hustle. I wrote this movie. The agent's like, "This is great. You're not going to direct it. We're going to sell it as a spec, and that will be your way in. You can write something new." I'm like, "Oh, okay, but I guess if we sell it, we'll make a lot of money." Well, it didn't sell. And then I wrote Jawbreaker. That I couldn't get made. No studio. So finally, just through hustling and networking and meeting people, I met these 2 young producers, this female producing team who wanted to make Jawbreaker but thought it was too much money, made Sparkler. We made that for like, I don't know, $500,000. Shot on 35 millimeter in Vegas.
Excellent.
In Canyon Country was Victorville. And that.
Oh, yeah.
Sparkler's now on Canopy, and I think Tubi as well, but definitely Canopy. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Some people think it's my best film. It's a completely different kind of experience. It's a comedy. Sandy Martin's in it.
I love Sandy Martin.
It's very
and
queer.
then Frances Bay too.
Yeah, Frances Bay from Octavia Spencer plays a telephone psychic. It's really wild.
Incredible.
But we got that great cast because the producers knew someone who knew Joseph Middleton, who was like this big Hollywood casting director who had done The Gym Generation and a bunch of big movies, and he got a co-producer credit. And he was the one who convinced me to cast Freddie. Jamie came in an audition, and he was hilarious. Like, Jamie brought humor to a character that wasn't like that on the page, right? Kind of like what Julie Benz did with Marcy in Jawbreaker. Freddie, I was like, I don't know. And then one day on his he came back for the 3rd time to audition. The casting director had given Freddie the shirt off his back, which was a collared shirt, because he was playing an agent's assistant who wanted to be a Hollywood agent type. To convince me that Freddie was the one to cast. Because, Hollywood, I think in a way, this is very Mulholland Drive, back then at least, did conspire to make stars. Everyone kind of decided, this person's we're all going to get behind this person. And Freddie had done House of Yes, which was great, I saw it at Sundance, loved it. And he was great looking, and his dad is Freddie Prinze. And he has this thing.
He's a legacy.
It is what it is. So Freddie was in it. Veronica was a fight because the casting director wanted a different actress.
There's a story there.
Yes, there is. But Veronica will tell you, when I first met you, I kept pawing her and like oogling and awing her because Alien Alien is my girl. You know what I mean? That's my horror movie. If I had to say,
understood.
Understood. It's the original Alien. I had the doll, the model with the mouth that shot in and out. I went to the H.R. Geiger exhibit. As a kid, my parents took me. I had the graphic novel from Heavy Metal magazine. I'm being so geeky with you guys. Sorry.
This is what we love.
Darren, I was in a group called Ripley Improv, which was a sci-fi improv group, and anyone who brings you in, your person who invites you to the group is called your Jonesy. I get it. Like,
what? No, I love that.
I
want a Jonesy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I got you. We got you.
Okay, thank you.
We're the right people
But
to geek out with.
yeah, but Veronica will be like, Darren, you kept grabbing my arm and like doing an eye over me, and she thought she liked it, you know. But in
Mhm.
Sparkler, she plays an aging bisexual woman who's kept by this butch lesbian named, played by Sandy Martin, and Sandy owns a strip club called The Crack in the outskirts of Vegas. So Veronica's been telling Park Overall, who plays the Sparkler, they went to high school together, that she's like this big showgirl on the strip, but it turns out that she's really a stripper at The Crack, and she's faded from glory. And what ends up happening is the Sparkler follows the three boys to Vegas, and she sees her high school friend who's in this relationship with Ed, Ed's played by Sandy, and Melba thinks that Ed's a man. And it's just, there's a lot of sexual politics and expressions going on in the film that were ahead of our time, I think, from the 90s.
Yes,
the mid-90s.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, having Veronica and Grace was exciting. Grace auditioned. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Did?
Just to be in the room with her, the eyes,
Yeah.
they're so intense. She's so amazing.
I'm looking at a picture of me and her right now. Should I hold it up to the camera?
Yeah, please.
Okay, wait.
So cute.
Yay.
Oops. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this?
Give us a second. Ooh. Oh my God, look at you. Look at your sweet little baby. Oh my God, baby Stein. Baby Stein. I'm sorry, your little sweet little face.
Sweet little face with hair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Grace was so cool. I mean, is so cool. I haven't seen her in a hot second, but yeah. Oh, actually, I did see her I saw her a couple years back because Sparkler and Jawbreaker played at the New Bev together.
Oh, nice.
Double feature.
I used to work there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it was so nice to have a double feature at the New Bev. It was cool.
Yeah,
that's
and on film, of course. So let's go from Sparkler to Jawbreaker. How does that leap happen?
That leap happens because the two producers, a female producing team on Sparkler, knew another female producing team who were looking for a teen movie, teen comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them, Lisa Tornell, was working for Doug Wick, who produced The Craft. So
my God, incredible.
So Lisa was working at Red Wagon. And then the other one, had produced other stuff. They were great. And they read Jawbreaker and they loved it. And they brought it around and they brought it to Columbia TriStar Home Video, the home video division. Isn't that cool?
So much of that. Rented so much. Like, I feel like that, like, I literally just saw the visual of that, like the thing and the sound, like,
you guys,
you said it.
Look at my nerdy mug.
Rocky
Horror.
It's got like all this.
Be it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I use it every day. I'm such a nerd.
I love it.
Well, we haven't gone to Rocky Horror together before.
Yeah, we gotta go.
What's playing at the cemetery for a mere $50? Yeah, Cinespia for the 50th anniversary. $50 for the 50th anniversary. There you go.
Yeah. I was like, oh gosh, I'm good.
But yeah, no, these producers. Yeah, they brought it to Columbia TriStar Home Video, which is fitting because it ended up becoming. It just feels like cult movies have those weird origin stories, right?
Yeah.
And the head of the studio, well, he was the head of Columbia TriStar Home Video. He had only ever acquired films for distribution. So Jawbreaker was the first time he produced. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. And it was made for $3 million, which is not a lot of money.
No.
And he told me, he goes, if you can get Kate Winslet, Natalie Portman, or Rose McGowan, she was like, for the lead, we'll make this movie. And Rose had been on my radar because I had seen The Gym Generation. A friend of mine, Lyonne, worked at UGC, this French company that financed it, or was one of the financiers. So they had a preview screening in LA that I went to, and I was like, me and every gay man in the 90s was like, who is that? Or a straight man too. I mean, or even girls, everyone.
Everyone. Boys, girls, I can't help it, baby. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Rose is hot. Yeah. So I was like, but I thought it was too obvious of a choice. I was like, I can't cast her as Courtney. I feel like it's just everyone would expect that. So, and then when he said A, B, or C, I knew I wasn't going to get the other two. And Rose was destined to be in this movie because the gay executive who financed it had her on a list that probably a lot of straight executives wouldn't have had her on.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Maybe, I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
No, I think it's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then funnily, his boyfriend the studio executive's boyfriend, went on to direct Burlesque, which he made because after Jawbreaker, he got a studio based on the success of my film. He was handed Screen Gems, and so
this
then
is
he went.
Steve. Are we talking about Steve Anton? Is this
Yeah, well, no, Steve was is the boyfriend.
Is the boyfriend.
The studio executive was a guy named Clint Culpepper. So
Okay.
Clint ran Screen Gems for 15 years. Yeah.
I know Steve Anton from The Last American Virgin. So
believe me, I know Steve Anton from The Last American Virgin as well. Very, very cute guy. And The Goonies, he was the bully in The Goonies. And he was in Jessie. He was Jessie in the Jessie's Girl video. Rick Springfield.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I want to watch that video again. Anywho.
So Clint made the movie for $3 million, and it was tough because we shot it in a month. And we were striving to make a big teen film.
Yeah.
For a fraction of the budget, because this is the era of Idle Hands. They had just made it, Sony. Can't Hardly Wait, Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
All those movies. And those films were all made for between 7 and 15 million.
Yep.
So nobody knows that Jawbreaker was smaller and only released on 800 screens.
Really?
Which is a lot now, obviously.
No,
it's exciting and great.
But at that point, that's...
So, but what was it like as a filmmaker to watch this film become what it has become?
Oh, it's been incredible. Yeah, it's been wild. Yeah, and it was even wild and cool for the film to get into Sundance in 1999, because the executive was like, "This might, it was kind of like there was talk about going straight to video." Let me just say that. Yeah.
So Sundance was like the pit stop that
Sundance
boomeranged
saved
it like to another place. Yeah.
Sundance saved it. Yeah, because and what we don't know, what would I know now? But what I didn't know then was that Sundance had a history of showing teen comedies. Like Sundance had shown Heathers. They had shown Pump Up the Volume. And to this day, they showed Assassination Nation. They still have a history of showing teen movies. And
it
Clint
follows. I saw it Sundance,
And then Clint had been providing them with movies because he was in acquisition. So he'd be providing them independent films and foreign films from Columbia TriStar Home Video. And he's like, I know Sundance is not Sundance. And then the head of Sundance is like, well, just show me the film. And he watched Jawbreaker. He's like, no, we need to show this at Sundance. And so it got into Sundance.
Yes.
And that was a big deal for the film because it's Jawbreaker. Come on. No, you know what I mean? It's
It's delightful.
And then over the years it went on. It was interesting because let's just talk about it. It got really bad reviews. It failed at the box office. And
I didn't know that. Everyone I know loves it. So
because how old are you?
We're that same age. We're the age.
You guys are young.
We were there when it was there. We were in high school. We were in college in '99. Me and Julia met in 19.
Okay, but you're still younger than me. I mean, I'm 53. Doesn't matter, whatever. But I'm saying,
like by a few years, we were the demographic that was supposed to go see it, and we were the demographic that saw it. Do you know what I mean? Though, like we were like just out of high school.
Yeah.
We were obsessed with it when it came out. I was like, this movie's crazy. But I also loved it because it was like that in between of like, I was like, Heathers meets Clueless, like give it to me. Like I'm obsessed with this, like the aesthetic, obviously. And the cast, you had Judy freaking Greer, who's one of my favorite actors of all time. So I don't know. You hit us. But you already know that now because we've all come out to you and bothered you now.
Yeah,
like
it was
everywhere
ahead.
You go.
It was ahead though. It's a little ahead of its time.
Yes.
And so later in life, it wasn't until I got on Twitter because when I made GBF, which was 12 years ago, I was like, well, I guess I should get on Twitter now and Instagram because I have something to promote. I started searching Jawbreaker and I was like, oh my God, it has a fan base. I didn't realize how big the fan base was. And then in the decades that followed, the queer community embraced it and started calling it a queer film. And then even better, I mean, not better. Listen, queer is important. It's my identity, religion. It's all of the things for me. But the horror community embracing it really meant a lot to me because I'm a horror girly. I was raised in the blood of Fangoria. Watching The Shining. And Carrie and these. Jason and Freddie and all the things we love. So for that to happen felt really good because I when I started writing Jawbreaker, I was trying to write a horror film. And then when through the drafts and through the snarkiness of the dialogue, it sort of became more of a dark comedy. But the DNA, if you look, is definitely horror. And I think that's part of why it's a cult movie because the darkness is so palpable in it. And I
Oh
think,
yeah.
and I think horror people see that, get it, check, you know. Yeah, so that's been nice.
I as I mentioned, I do want to talk to you about your VC Andrews
Yeah.
gig. How did that happen?
That was just a good job. You know, I grew up with Flowers in the Attic. I love those books. I remember the Peekaboo books at the supermarket.
Yep, I
Yes.
got them all over here.
Little
I've read
covers.
the whole
Oh,
series. I got I think My Sweet Audrina is my favorite one though.
Oh, I was just about to say My Sweet Audrina, because that's the
Yeah.
horror one. That's the
Yeah,
horror
that
girly one.
was hard.
Yeah.
that one scared me a lot. Okay. Anything.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Julie Benz was just in My Sweet Audrina remake. Maybe, I don't know, but I know they remade it. Anyway, I loved the New World movie of Flowers in the Attic that Louise Fletcher was in. I remember that and loving
Yes.
that. And so when
That's
I was
so camp.
asked, yes, I got a meeting through my agent with the woman who was hiring at Lifetime, and she's like, "Okay, well, would you rather direct There Will Be Thorns or Seeds of Yesterday?" I guess she was kind of
Ooh.
considering me for both. And There Will Be Thorns is more of the horror; it's more of a hardcore
Mhm.
horror, whereas Seeds of Yesterday is a little bit more camp. And she goes, "I think you're more Seeds of Yesterday. I'm just gonna give you that one." I'm like, "Okay." And so and Seeds of Yesterday is batshit crazy. It is the most
Yeah.
batshit of all of them, which I happily embraced and had a blast writing it. It was really fun just to be able to go unhinged in the Lifetime way, you know?
Well, yeah.
And I did not direct that. I only wrote it because they like to have different writers and directors. It's just whatever. But it feels good to be able to write things you direct, produce things that you don't write or direct things. I mean, I like working in every iteration, you know?
And so you produced All About Eva with Peaches Christ. So could we talk about that, please? Because we are
Yes, hell yes. Have you
happy
guys?
friends as well.
Yes,
Star quality.
are you guys fans of All About Evil? Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, of course we are. Of
Huge.
Yeah.
course.
We've covered it on the show as well. We
Good.
Yeah,
love that movie.
it's interesting
Well, All
because
About Evil, yeah.
I made a movie called Out of Print, which is a
Mhm.
documentary about the importance of film and those
Mhm.
kind of movie theaters, which is essentially Peaches. She and I talked about, like, I made the documentary version of her. It's the same message, but
Mhm.
hers is just horror, and mine's, I don't know.
Mm.
It's amazing,
Yes.
and having Natasha Lyonne there, like, and all the folks. So, how did you get involved?
Joshua heard me on This American Life. Peaches.
Oh,
You found your
And
people.
yeah,
Yes.
Peaches heard me on This American Life and sent me a Friendster message.
Friendster.
Rest in peace, social media platform that the kids today don't understand or know.
It
Oh,
was the
we
one
didn't know how
before
good we had
MySpace.
it. We didn't know how good we had it.
We did. And I was like, "Who's this Peaches Christ?" And this is before social media, right? So we didn't know what was going on in San Francisco. There was not everyone sharing everything in real time. And so I was like, "Wait, it's a drag queen I don't know." I knew all the New York drag queens. I've always been into drag since Frankenfurter and Divine.
yes.
So I was like, "Who's this?" So I was like, "Who's this Peaches Christ that's like doing a fucking cult film, a screening series of drag queens in San Francisco?" So we became so we got together, and he's like, I was like, "I'm coming up there for Frameline. My documentary's playing at the Castro. We should hang out." And he and I hung out, and we just realized immediately we were long lost brothers, sisters,
Yes.
everything. And I saw his short films, like Nightmare on Castro Street, which was his Elm Street kind of like interpretation. Whatever happened, to Peaches Christ, all these films that he and all those queens made together. And one of them was the film that inspired All About Evil. It's called Grindhouse, and it's on the Blu-ray that Severn put out. And I was like, "You should really make a feature. You're so talented, because your shorts are really smart, really funny. You aren't just making films for yourself. You're making it for an audience. You need to make a feature." And Josh was like, "Well, I wouldn't know where to start. You live in LA. I don't do that. I can't." And I'm like, "Well, listen, you can. And if you write a feature, I will produce it." So I made this promise to him.
Oh my
And then
God.
and he's like one of my best friends now, right? But
Yeah.
7 years later, he wrote the movie called Bloodshed that would be renamed All About Evil. And I was like, "Fuck, now I have to produce this." So that's how it happened.
I love it. It's like a dare and a dare, you kind of
Mhm.
dare each other that way.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my
And we lucked
God.
out. We actually almost we met with Judy Greer about playing the role. She couldn't do it for some reason. We talked to Julie Benz. We talked to Busy Phillips, and then we talked to Clea Duvall. And Clea was like, "I'm busy, but have you ever considered Natasha?" And we were like, "No," because Natasha had issues with drugs over the years and things, and she hadn't worked in a while. And this DP, Tom Richmond, who shot Slums of Beverly Hills, and he also shot Chopping Mall. Tom's like,
Amazing.
Natasha's amazing. And then Clea's like, Natasha's great. And we're like, okay, let's talk to
Hmm.
Natasha. We tried to get Firuza. It's hard, she's hard to get to. And then Natasha was like, yeah, I love this. Let's do it. And so it was her first movie back, really, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was the star and she was awesome. And
She's so good in it too.
she,
Like, what a
yeah.
Always
turn.
gives like
Her with Mink
110%.
Stole, freaking those lips, and oh my God.
Oh,
Anyway,
she's so
incredible
good.
scenes.
She's so good. And so, yeah, we're also friends to this day. And now Natasha's done very well and she's had a huge resurgence and it's so well deserved. She's actually a
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant human being. So I'm not surprised whatsoever by it, you know? So it's great.
No, I get it. I feel like it seems like a nice meeting of the minds with all of y'all working
Hmm.
together because you guys are
Hmm.
all such nerds in like that in the film centric way. You know,
Hmm.
that we understand. Just beautiful and just really about um creating something that makes people feel. I mean, I think every single one of you makes really visceral work. Um that it's just like, oh, I feel I think of everything that you've done. I'm just like, oh, there's some scene that just lives with
Yeah.
me, that
Thank
stays
you.
with me. So when I think about it, there's nothing milk toast here, Julia, like you say. You know, there's everything. There's something that's just tangible, tactile, and beautiful. And you've
Yeah. I
also
remember Thomas, one of the people I brought into
Mhm.
that movie was Thomas Dekker,
Oh
who's,
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
who's big in
incredible
the
in
horror world.
it. Oh, he's
Yeah.
so
As a matter of fact,
good.
and so Thomas is one of me and Thomas and Peaches were also very, very close. All three of us are Capricorns. So we call ourselves like the Capricorn Cabal, you know.
Oh.
But the girls who play the twins, you know, it's
Hmm.
like the evil, we call it the evil family. Like we're all still, but that movie had a it took time as well. Like for 10 years, it wasn't really released in a big way. It was only available on DVD through Peaches Christ Productions, and the
Hmm.
financier wouldn't let us release it, and all these things. And then finally, you know, Severin put out the Great Blue, and it got on Shudder, and now it's widely available. But for 10 years, it was not. So that movie took a hot second to find its footing in culture as well.
I'm
I'm
glad
so
it gets to live
grateful.
its life as the cult classic it deserves to be because, championing film and community is everything I stand behind, and the horror community specifically. So we asked you to pick a film to talk about today that we've never talked about, and you could pick any film that we haven't talked about. You picked 1989's Parents. Tagline for the movie: "There's a new name for terror," which was written by Christopher Hawthorne and directed by Bob Balaban, released by Vestron Pictures. Tell
I'm
us
sorry, I'm
about
so excited. I'm so excited for this choice. Tell us why you chose it. Oh my God. I mean, I can see why, I think, but tell us.
Because it's just a true weirdo movie,
It's so
you
weird.
know, and it's a true underdog movie.
Yeah.
And it's also something that hasn't gotten its flowers. It's kind of a little unsung. And I think it's important to put a lens on movies that not everyone might know about, you know?
No.
Agreed.
Um, yeah, so I think those are the reasons why Parents lives on for me. Probably because I also grew up in the 80s and Parents came out in like 1989. And so I saw it in the theater and, you know, it had a moment with me because I got to see it in the theater and it's
Yeah.
very, yeah, and it's my shit. And it's horror that doesn't, it's not a horror with a capital H. It's almost like an A24 film made in 1989.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like stylistically, so many
Yeah.
things about it.
And
Um,
the
and
looming
even
dread is
Hmm.
is
the
there.
looming dread of the suburbs, beautiful, but I feel like you also capture that. I feel like this is a very Darren movie too, because like you
Hmm.
said, it kind of I felt like it was giving us a little window into like not that your childhood was this, but like into like that
No.
suburban, but also the vibe of that suburban neighborhood and like everything kind of about that space. And the mom looking like Mink Stole. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mary
like
Beth Hurt
fully,
getting full 50s glamour, you know.
yeah,
And you know, it's very Blue Velvet in that it's like about like it's the 50s and it's like in the 50s everybody was like, "Oh, we're squeaky clean. We're all pressed and neat and brightly colored and putting on it, you know, but what's happening behind the scenes? What does the underbelly and all that look like?" Which of course Blue Velvet did back, you know, a couple years previous to Parents.
but who knows how long Bob sat on this, you know, and the team,
Mhm.
you know, had this, you know, and behind too. Because like you talk about sometimes it's that genesis between when something gets made versus when it gets out there. So they could have had it around the same time, that spark of creation where
Mhm.
these stories like converged around the same time. I always wonder about that too.
And you have Angela Badalamenti scoring Parents, who scored obviously the David Lynch oeuvre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I like that it really takes its time and lets you decide what you think is happening for a lot of the movie, that it's letting it kind of simmer and it's giving so much fun camera work. They're really like going to town with that, almost in like an Evil Dead kind of way, where like they have these shots where I'm like, I don't know what they're strapped, where is the camera, what have they strapped it to, where is it? It's just like crazy, amazing, beautiful camera
Oh yeah,
work as
lots of
well.
weird POVs and stuff too, for sure.
Wait, was it a first viewing for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that like? I want to hear about that. Like for you guys, what was it like watching this film? What was that like for you, experiencing this
I
film
guess
today?
I look up, I haven't seen a lot of Bob Balaban's films as a director. I've seen a lot of him as an actor, so I have him in my head as this little character, right? And his voice which is amazing. So I expect it to be off center, which it was. And so I go in, okay, I love the camera work, the performances, and that you have this boy who's clearly on a different level from his parents, but we don't know what, there's so much simmering behind the scenes that we don't see for so long, that I really liked that, because I feel like movies today can be a lot about instant gratification and getting to the next thing, the next thing, next thing. Like, no, what if we just wait? What if we just slow down a little bit? And I feel like that I appreciated that, because I feel like it feels like a different pace than we have now.
Yeah, you get to be in the question mark, right? And they can be in the question, and there's not a clear answer, like you talked about a little bit of that Lynchian kind of like the dream space, liminal spaces between like waking and dreaming.
Nightmares.
Yeah, nightmares. Are we, I have asked myself that many days. Like, is this real life? What's happening right now? But also I was really fascinated by the school counselor, and that dynamic between the student, when you go in to meet with the school counselor, and it's like, is this an adult? Like, I love that. Like, are you really a real adult? Like, because you don't seem to have your shit together either. So finally seeing someone who's not pretending to not have their stuff together versus what the adults look like who are pretending to have the things together, and what that means for safety. I was really fascinated. Again, like I said, as soon as it started, I was like, oh, this is like, the colors feel like, remind me of something that could be, programmed. We talked about double features earlier with a, with a Darren Stein movie easily, as far as like, the kind of bright colors, but terrible things happening, which I feel like that's like, a Darren Stein stamp,
It's true. Yeah. And the cannibalism, the fact that they're giving their son these chunks of meat, and the whole thing is, but what is it? And they never tell him what it is.
Leftovers.
Leftovers. But what? Oh, and then he says, "What were they before they became leftovers?" Which is, and then she goes, "Leftovers to be." But the dialogue is brilliant. You know what I mean?
And
Or
I
at the
can't tell,
end,
because she's,
yeah.
sorry, the mom seems like she loves him, but I was like, does she? I don't know with them. It's so
No, yeah, the
weird.
movie, there's a clinical detachment to the film that is really disturbing. Because does she love him? Does she want to eat him? Does she want to have sex with her child? I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is unnerving in a very deep Freudian way, which I think is really fascinating.
There was a point in time where I felt like maybe they had a previous child and ate him, and he's like replacement child, because he feels like he just kind of. We watched a movie night a few weeks ago, a movie called Vivarium, with and it was that kind of thing where like you have this kid now who is like not yours. It felt like they weren't. Maybe he didn't even belong to them, which is a crazy theory about the film.
I love that theory. And the boy is so other. Like he is giving, Harold from Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
There's something very macabre about him, and sad and depressive and a bit morose. I would say morose about that kid, right? It's like the guy from 3 O'Clock High or something, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, this kid what kind of trauma has this kid seen? Oh, he's been raised by cannibals his whole life and didn't know it. But he seems almost to be
waking
in
up
on it.
to it. Yeah, but he's like waking up to it.
Yeah. Like there's that movie, I forgot what it's called, with James McAvoy, that was remade, where they cut the kids' tongues out so they can't speak.
Oh, yes.
Speak No Evil, the one that just came out.
Based on the foreign film. Yeah. It's like one of those kids. It's disturbing. And I think part of why the film didn't do as well, or isn't as known, is not much happens. There's not much of a story to this. And I'm fine with that, because it's disturbing not to know, the easy answers to things. And the film maintains the tone of dread from beginning to end.
Yes.
You are uneasy, upset. The scene when the kid runs in slow motion to his bed, the whole monster under the bed thing, It
Yeah.
really captured that moment so well. And then he jumps in the bed and the sheet comes down and he's just in blood. It's like the Shining elevator, right?
It's so
Times 10.
beautiful.
It's
Mhm.
like house you. Like it's like that moment where it's like all of a sudden you're just like, okay, this home is not safe anymore. And you get that like he doesn't feel safe at home. Even when he gets home too early, when his parents are like, why are you home early from school?
Mhm.
It's like, wait, what? You guys should know his schedule. Why do they not know? And why
I
do they
know.
seem so shocked by that? And
Yeah.
that just feels like they weren't supposed to be his parents or they aren't his parents. Like I kept
Yeah.
questioning it the whole time too.
Do you know anything about
Yeah.
the production of this film? About
I
Christopher
don't.
Hawthorne or Bob Balaban?
I don't. I mean, I know that to me, Balaban's always going to be the kid in Midnight Cowboy that
Mhm,
gives head to John Voight in the movie theater.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
such a talking about disturbing scenes.
Yeah. Mhm,
So
mhm.
I think it's fitting that Bob Balaban, who had probably one of the most disturbing portrayals a teenage actor, a young actor can play on film. I
Mhm.
mean, clearly Bob Balaban was not a teenager when he acted that
Mhm.
role, but this is the '70s. It was Midnight Cowboy. It was disturbing, but it's fitting that he's making a film like Parents. Um, Films that are analogous to Parents could be like Cindy Sherman's Office Killer, which
Mhm.
stars what's Molly Ringwald and Carol Kane, and it's
Oh, no
also
way.
Cindy Sherman's a fine artist. She's a photographer, and so Office Killer feels like a piece of art, kind of. It's more in its genre. It's about a killer, but
I have not seen that, but I'm writing it down because we love
yeah,
recommendations more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And so, like, if
conceptual.
we're gonna do triple feature, I guess maybe that, what you just said, Office Killer,
Mhm,
this, and then, like, Terror Vision. Like, I
mhm.
don't know, like, just, like,
That's a good
suburban,
one.
like, hell
Yeah, or
as
like
well, too.
Paul
Mhm.
Bartel's Eating Raoul, which is
Mhm.
about
Ooh.
cannibals, which was also a
Mhm.
comedy horror from '82 that featured Mary Woronov. Um,
I love Mary
I
Woronov
even
so
love, like, the
much.
stuff that's not supposed to be meat in the movie that looks like meat, like, that's,
yeah,
like, the, like, strawberry cake that looks like a butthole. Sorry,
yeah,
just like that they're
yeah.
about
The
to consume.
sexual,
There's so much sexual innuendo and strangeness and
well, there's
kinkiness that he doesn't
yeah,
understand either.
yeah. There's a scene
Mhm.
where he walks in on his parents having sex, and they're in the living room, and it's lit like it's like this bright white light, right? And there's blood all over them, and they're having sex covered in blood.
But
So
they
what did
did
you
put a
guys?
sheet, so it's like
Yeah,
they're keeping it clean, which I did appreciate.
Easy
Well, because when
cleanup.
you first see it, he thinks it's lipstick all over their face, right? And then
mhm.
when you cut to, you're like, oh, it's not, it's blood. And like, whose blood is
Is
it?
it? Yeah. Well, where does the meat come from? It's
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah, it's probably someone that they killed for the meat. You never see the bodies. There's no Sweeney Todd in this, where there's a basement full of bodies. The movie's very unnerving because it just.
Well, there's no bodies because 'cause they're eating them all.
I know, but
I feel like they put
there's
the
no.
whole rack looks like the whole body, like, the way they chop it up sorry, blah. Well, I guess it's not I'm not sorry, we're graphic on the show. The gory details, I mean, it looks like the whole body is, like, on the freaking barbecue, the way they show the barbecue. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a full roast.
there is a scene where he goes to an autopsy place and he asks for the organs and he asks for them
Right.
fresh, and so you get a sense. I was wondering also, are they aliens? Did you ever ask yourself if they were aliens? Or did that ever cross your head?
No, but I
Okay.
That
definitely thought
didn't.
there was something wrong with them, and I didn't.
Mhm,
But then you learn, of course, we learn at the end, like, oh, they've been raised like that, right? There are
mhm,
generations of the grandparents they taught it. That's who they taught it from. So, and I mean, Randy Quaid, what a crazy choice because he does
mhm,
seem so menacing no matter what he's
mhm,
saying. I'm just like, please
mhm.
stop. You're making me really uncomfortable. He's got the
That
like
man has
Gary Busey
always
thing
seemed
where
off.
like no matter what he says, you're like, no.
Always a little weirdo. Been a weirdo.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
a line where he says, I don't know if it's him or the wife, but she says, "We have to fit in. We must be on our best behavior." And
Mhm.
the film begins with them moving to a new town. So you're like, okay, well,
Yep.
why are they moving?
Right.
They've
What
run
happened
out
to the
of
old town? We have to
mhm.
fit in. We have to be on our best behavior. Okay, yeah, they probably want to last here as long as possible. I get that. That makes sense. Um, oh, the movie
Maybe
is, and then
maybe homeschool your kid though.
yeah,
Maybe not send him to school. And but
yeah,
I really like his chaos causing best friend who he meets,
yeah.
the girl
She's
who's just
great.
she's just coming in. I was like, "What are you doing to the house, man? You were just like a
Hmm.
whirlwind of
Sheila!
chaos."
Hmm.
Wow, but she also her parents have their own, like, what are they doing? Because it's like,
Yeah,
I know your kid's got this thing and your parents are doing this, but her parents seem to be doing something else that's also, like, fucked up, right?
Right. No, they fully are. And really,
Just
I think
out
the
of
film,
frame.
yeah, I think the whole metaphor of the film is we will never really truly know what our parents are doing.
No.
Mhm.
Like we will never ever know the real dark side to our parents. And it's not for us to know, because the parent-child relationship, obviously some children do find out and it's traumatic and horrible, obviously. But like, for the most part, in the suburbs,
Yeah.
in the 50s, you don't know and you don't get to know. And it's not something you want to know, probably.
No, and I think it brings up the horror, which when I go into like an existential whirlwind sometime of like, what is the point of what are they
Mhm,
doing? Like,
mhm,
what does all of this mean kind of
mhm.
stuff, you know? It's really intense.
Yeah, it really is. And then the girl, I remember there's a scene in school where the teacher asks something about like, what's your darkest memory? What does she say? The teacher
Oh
says,
yeah,
Oh, she wanted something new. She's like, "What's? I just want to
yeah,
know new information, like because you're new in
yeah,
school or whatever.
tell us
Tell us
something
something
new.
new."
And who talks about cooking a black cat in the oven? Is that the girl, the crazy girl?
she
Him,
does. She
Oh,
the
she
teaches
little
them
does.
how to
boy.
make a
Okay.
Gibson.
Yeah,
Oh,
make a
right, that's
Gibson
right.
hot
That's right.
rod,
That's
which is
right.
also inappropriate for Neiman's Baxter. It's like, you can eat an onion, and they're like, she's like, "No, we don't drink those though, do we?" And then he
No.
talks about how to boil a cat, and I was like, "Why does he know those details?" And you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to eat anything at that house."
He's
Yeah.
seen some shit. He's seen some
Yeah,
shit.
But it also brings like, you never know if anybody's ever telling you the truth, right? Because you're
Right.
seeing into somebody else's head. Somebody could be lying to you at all times. And so
Mhm,
the fact of having these faces, these public facing faces, and
mhm,
then the ones behind is the horror of suburbia, isn't it? And I
mhm,
think that's what David Lynch
mhm,
does so well as well.
mhm,
and it's also like, what's psychosis and what's real? Like that's the other question too, because it's like
mhm,
he
What's
it's
given him these nightmares in the first place?
mhm.
Did he do
like when
something, or
the
is
counselor goes to investigate finally and is like, "Oh, actually, this place is
Mhm,
creepy, and
mhm.
there are things here that are not what they seem."
Yeah,
So,
and the counselor, as you said, like her office is a mess, she's a mess. And it's that whole thing of, oh, but you're supposed to be helping us with our problems and you seem to be a real disaster. But I
mhm.
guess if you're like living your disaster out, there's no secrets. Like that saying, we're only as sick as our secrets.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Oof.
How did you catch the scene when like Mary Beth Hurt, the mom, is nibbling on her son's fingernails? Is it her nails or his or
His.
there's-
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a normal mom thing to do, though, I feel. No,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
serious.
No, you're
It's like,
right. You are right.
It
it's like
is.
a lot of moms do it with babies because they don't wanna
Hmm.
have the clippers so close to them, and so it's just like one
Hmm.
of those things, like, it's a thing you should have outgrown by now. You shouldn't do that
Hmm.
to your son anymore because now he's too old, that kind of thing. That's the feeling of it.
No, you're right. And mom's saying, "Oh, I just want to eat you up. You're so delicious. You're delicious." Grandmothers say that.
All the time.
Yeah.
I do say that. I'm like, Bob, I'm like, guilty. But like, I want to
Yeah,
eat that little baby with a spoon.
yeah.
Little creamy skin. Yes. Oh
And
my God.
is this a spoiler show? Can we say what the
Oh yeah,
ending
we're
is?
heavy
Anything, say it.
spoiler. Heavy
Mhm,
spoiler.
So at the end, the grandparent is it one or two, but they turn out to be cannibals as well.
Hmm.
mhm.
So
And he
yeah,
has the realization when he sees the sandwich and, "Oh, no,
right.
he
With
can't escape it."
the bedtime
Yes.
snack after his parents have been deceased.
Yes.
And he
And
yeah.
I love a downbeat ending, right? You get, like, not
Yeah.
only do the parents die, but now you're like, "Oh, and now he's stuck and he's gonna be a cannibal no matter what."
Now he's got the final boss. He's got to deal with the final
Yeah.
bosses. So I
Yeah.
imagine in the second one he'd be fighting them and like also probably realizing that he has his own proclivities because that kid also is definitely going to end up doing something like
Oh, for
he's a
sure.
psycho.
For sure. And
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you.
Well, I was just gonna we always like to ask our guests, how you survive horror movies. So how do you survive this movie?
This movie, do you mean literally as a person in the film or do you mean as a viewer of the
Yeah.
film?
Or
Either,
Both.
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 Okay.
I'll take
Well,
both.
as I don't think there's surviving this movie for a character in it.
No.
I don't. I really don't. I think it's a real bleak vision. But the beauty of the vision is that it's presented in a comedic, um, really stylized, beautifully artistic way where you have fun with it. It's not a
Mhm.
movie that you're like. It's not a downer like Bring Her Back or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trauma in this is not explicit. It's cartoonish in a really fun way, and I love that tone for us, and I love that tone for the '90s, and I miss it, and I would love to see this film on Criterion. I would love to see this film get
Ooh.
spoken about more often.
Yeah.
I think it deserves a place. And then as a viewer, how do you survive this film? Yeah, just knowing that it's a piece of it's a conceptual work of art that is really fun and not meant to be. Yeah, it's got a dark underbelly, but it's meant to be. There's a certain level of camp to the movie. Yeah, we're using the word camp.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely
yeah.
got that.
What do you guys think?
We think that it's awesome that you brought it here, because then, you know, other people will hopefully hear this, see this, watch it, bring it on to the next person. And that's what we do. And what we love is showing movies that we love to people that we love.
Yeah.
And you know, how you survive. We love movies where you're like, do you survive? No, you don't.
There's quite a few of them where you're just like,
Yeah.
well, you can't burn the monster. You can't. I mean, it's just like it keeps going, because also the problem with this one is the monster eventually kind of lives inside of you, because we are all like part of that same culture in that way, and you're kind of boiled into it in this movie, right?
But also the helplessness of being a situation like that as a child, where you don't have any, you can't like run away. You're like 7. What are you going to do? Right. You have to be in this thing. So the horror of that as well.
The horror of being born, period. You cannot, your
you
parents.
don't choose your parents.
Guess what? Yeah. Who is equipped? Where's the manual to parent? And the film's called Parents. It's completely, I just think it's a complete concept, and it's good. It's good stuff.
I love their ending credits too, how they have everyone come out and wave out the little door.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about even that, of just like the presentation of the family. Very cool. And if we were to give gore factor, which we usually do on our show, we do ratings about, you know, blood. It's a 5, kids, if you want to know, for its run for the barf bag. Because
you're
there's
jumping
more than
into
a bathtub of blood.
A pool of blood.
Yeah, it's a big
pool
of blood.
Is 5 the highest gore possible?
Yeah, fantastic-oracle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
for the
I would
barf
say,
bag.
okay. It's interesting. So when I think of gore, I don't know. Diving into the blood is like the shining level of gore, which is, like you said, fantastic-oracle. But it's not scary gore. It's not. I mean, it is scary actually, but it's not.
Because you were desensitized, Mr. Darren Stein. I let you know, I was a child and I was 7 and I saw this movie that was too early. It's the thing is, we have to learn this all the time. It's so funny because Julia will be like, can I bring this? We have a friend movie night group that we have that meets up all the time too. She's like, can I bring this? I was like, nah, like that one's too much. She's like, oh, but it's just, I'm like, no, you think it's okay because your brain is broken already in that special way. So sometimes, you know, for the average viewer, it's definitely more blood than what the average viewer could handle.
And it's
more than a bathtub of blood. So for us, that's a 5.
Okay. And it's the kind of blood that you can't, it's psychologically disturbing. That's why I like this movie, I think, is because it's really just, I just love that it's like deeply disturbing. And to me, that's horror. That's good.
Yeah, this is what we love. So we are so happy. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Where can people find you online if they want to talk to you about gore or, you know, whatevs?
Cue maniacal laugh. Just, my best friend Kate calls me the cackler. Like if I was like, she's like, if I was a villain for Marvel, I'd be called the cackler.
Oh my God, it's a new movie.
Sharing with you. Sharing
got the sparkler and the cackler. I love it. Let's
go. Just my name, Darren Stein, and at Darren Stein on Instagram, or I guess wherever.
Yay.
Yeah. You can also find us. We are on all of the things as well at Horror Movie Survival Guide. I also have 2 other podcasts. I'm on the Losers Club about Stephen King. I'm also on Jodorowsky, all about Alejandro Jodorowsky and his works.
Yes, and we do another show with the George A. Romero Foundation the last Thursday of every month here on YouTube. You can find it. It's called Horror X, where we interview different women and femmes in horror and find out what makes them make fright films fantastic-oracle. And you can also what else? Patreon, Teespring, merch, all those things. Like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, all that kind of good stuff. We're trying to grow our YouTube presence. I'm not trying. We're growing our YouTube presence.
That's right. Say it with pride.
So please, like I said, tell a friend, pass it on, and all the good stuff. And thank you so much, Darren, for chatting with us about all these beautiful things. What a cool, fun, adventurous life you have had. And I just am so glad to know you. And thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time talking to you guys.
Woo! Yeah. I had a great time. Oh my God, I did too. Okay.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.